He kills his church members in order to lay claims on their life insurance policy. Hi, this is the story of Melisizwe Monqo, a pastor in South Africa who owns a very large church. Monqo, while pretending to be a pastor, had a scam scheme running, which nobody suspected. After all, he was a pastor. He had other accomplices, which are his wife, a 26-year-old woman, his cousin, a 31-year-old man. What Monqo does is this. He lures his church member to own a life insurance policy. After all, an insurance policy is something every adult should look forward to own, right? And it was brought to them by their pastor, so there was no reason to be suspicious or whatsoever. It felt like a case of a pastor looking out for his church member. He was their spiritual leader, right? So the church members, they agreed to it, so many of them, and they had a life insurance policy in their names. But what Monqo does is this. After these people had opened this life insurance policy in their name, he goes ahead to plan for their death, terminates them in the most gruesome manner, and goes ahead pretending to be their relative to claim this insurance policy on their behalf. And he has done it with other several church members, and he succeeded. But on this fateful day, luck ran out on him. He had his church member, a 23-year-old girl. She also had a life insurance policy. This time, it was time for him to claim hers. So he has to do to her what he had done to other people, which is taking her life. So they planned with his cousin and his wife, and they invited this girl to a job interview. This girl, not knowing that it was a fake interview, maybe she was a job hunter at the time, or she had a job but she needed a better one because the job was in an airport. I mean, who doesn't want to work in an airport? At least the pay will be better. Oh, she was so happy. So on that fateful day, she prepared, but she had some company to escort her to a point, which was her brother and her boyfriend. They escorted her to a point where the pastor came and picked her up. In the company of the pastor was Kusheka, his cousin. He was the hit man of the game. So the pastor drove her. The boyfriend and the brother, they had no reason to suspect anything. After all, it was their pastor. But before you know it, hours later, on that same day, this girl's body was found lying on a lonely gravel path by a fisherman who was going for his daily hustle. So this man raised alarm. Why is the body of a well-dressed young girl with several stabs on her body and a slit throat lying by this lonely path? So he raised alarm out of fear, calling the police. So the police came to the venue and started investigation immediately. And because this pastor's name was mentioned, after all, he was the one that picked up the girl for the interview. He was called for questioning, but he gave false statement. But the investigation was still ongoing. At the end of it all, the fingers were pointing to him because the girl's mobile phone was found in his possession, and they also discovered his clothes, which was stained with blood, and a DNA of the blood was on it. It matches the DNA of the girl. In the end of it all, he was convicted of the crime, he, the cousin, and the wife. He was handed 252 years imprisonment, life imprisonment, and his cousin was handed 63 years imprisonment, while the wife had a reduced sentence of 20 years imprisonment. According to the story, the judge had pity on her because she confessed to the crime without giving the court a tough time. She confessed and she was remorseful, saying that she deserves to die for the crime she had committed, while the husband, on the other hand, was doing, do you know who I am, tea, and the cousin. They kept on denying. Even after they've been convicted, they were still denying. And the court also discovered that she was a victim of domestic violence and she was forced into the crime by her husband as well. So she had a reduced sentence. I mean, a pastor, this is a shocker. This tells the extent that people would go just to make money. A pastor is someone people are supposed to go to and get release, spiritual encouragement in whatever they are going through. But pastor being behind the member's death just for monetary claims, I mean, it tells a lot. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comment section below. And if this is your first time of coming across my video, do well to like, comment, and follow.